Good evening, everyone. I am John Louis Rieras, and we are now on the chapter 10 entitled Components of the Internet and the World Wide Web. First off is the Internet, also called the Net. It is a worldwide collection of interconnected computer networks that links millions of businesses, government agencies, educational institutions, and individuals. Next is the World Wide Web. It is a system of interlinked hypertext documents accessible using the Internet. It is also linked in the URL to identify the address as a website. It is commonly linked in the domain names such as Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And now, we will go back in time to discover the history and evolution of the Internet. Internet started over 50 years ago, and on 1958, Pentagon's Advanced Research Project Agency, or the ARPA, was established by the U.S. Department of Defense to make the U.S. leads in scientific and technological military operations. On 1965, ARPA sponsored a study on a cooperative network of time-sharing computers. Their goal was to establish, first, allow scientists in different physical locations to share information and work together on military and scientific projects. Second, that would secure and provide survival to the information and research from man-made disasters such as nuclear attack or natural disasters. And in 1969 was the first ever message that was sent from one computer to another over the ARPANET, and that message was the word login. In 1971, Ray Tomlinson developed the electronic mail or email that could send emails back and forth. The @ symbol is used to identify the user's name and the host name apart. And in 1986, the National Science Foundation connected its huge network of 5 supercomputer centers to ARPANET, and the NSFNet was born. And in 1991, a computer programmer, Tim Berners-Lee, invented the World Wide Web, and CERN introduces it to the public. And by 1992, Airwise was created. It is an internet browser that has the first graphical interface. And in 1993, Mosaic was created. It is used for web surfing. And in 1994, Yahoo was created by Jerry Yang and David Fellow. It was the most popular website worldwide during the 2000s. And in 1995, NSFNet terminated its network on the internet and resumed its status to research networks. And by 1997, Netflix was founded, and it is used as a rent-by-mail DVD service. People will browse and order the films they want on their website, and Netflix would post it to their doors. And in 1998, the Google search engine was launched. It is used to determine the importance of individual pages on the World Wide Web. And by the year 2004, Harvard sophomore named Mark Zuckerberg launches the Facebook. He built it in order to connect Harvard students with one another. But by the next day, over 1,000 people had already registered. And another web browser that was launched is the Firefox, created by Mozilla. It was the Firefox 1.0 web browser. And in 2005, YouTube was launched by the trio Steve Chen, Chad Hurley, and Jawed Karim. The first ever video uploaded on YouTube was by Jawed Karim, one of the YouTube founder. He posted the 18-second video entitled Me at the Zoo. The video has already 166 million views. And in 2006, Twitter was launched, but it became popular only on 2007 due to an event called South by Southwest Interactive. Its usage increased from 20k to 60k tweets per day. And in 2010, Pinterest was launched for people who want to find ideas and home inspirations, and it became one of the 10 largest social sites in 2011 for reaching 10 million users. Another one that is launched in 2010 was the Instagram, and it reaches 25,000 users on its first day, and increased to 1 million by December. And up until today, many of us are using Instagram. And fun fact, pizza was the first ever food that was purchased through online. And now let's proceed to the major components of the internet. Servers. A server is a computer program that provides a service to another computer program and its user. Types of servers. First is application server. It is a program in a computer that provides the business logic for an application program. Example of this is WebLogic that uses technologies such as caching and connection pooling to improve application performance. Next is the web server. It is a computer program that serves requested HTML pages or files. Example of this is the IIS that accepts requests from remote client computers and returns the appropriate response. Another type is proxy server. It acts as a firewall and web filter, provides shared network connections, and cache data to speed up common requests. Next is mail server. It is an application that receives incoming email from local users and remote senders and forward outgoing email for delivery. Example of an incoming email server is pop.gmail.com and the outgoing server is smtp.gmail.com. And lastly, policy server. It is a security component of a policy-based network that provides authorization services and facilitates tracking and control of files. Example of it is in Google Drive. A user can allow or deny access to any type of file or document from other user. Next in our topic is IP address or the Internet Protocol. It was first invented in 1971 as the Transmission Control Protocol. This provides identity to a network device such as mobile phones, Wi-Fi, computer, and laptop. It usually consists of four groups of numbers. The first portion of IP address is the network, and the second one is the specific device. Next is the browser. It is an application program that provides a way to look information on the web. Example of this is DNS or Domain Name System. It is a phone book of the internet. We access information online through domain names. Example of a DNS is facebook.com, teachingenglish.org.uk, or the academia.edu. And we have here some of the top level domains. First is .com for commercial, .org for organization, .net for network, .edu for educational, .gov for national and government agencies, .ph for Philippines, .au for Australia, .vc for Vatican City, and .kr for South Korea. But .com or commercial is the most commonly used by the people. Next is the ISP or the Internet Service Provider. It is an organization that provides service for accessing, using, or participating in the Internet. Example of this is the Philippine Long Distance Telephone or PLDT. Another is Globe Broadband, and many more. The fastest ISP in the Philippines is the ComClark with an internet speed of 22.5 megabits per second, and Converge ICT as the second fastest with 21.4 megabits per second. And there are two types of ISP. First is the National ISP and the Regional ISP. National ISP provided internet access to a specific geographic areas, while the Regional ISP, businesses that provides internet access in cities and towns nationwide.
Good morning, classmates. My name is JC Recania from BizEd Science 3B. My topic this morning is all about connecting to the internet. Cable internet service, high-speed internet access to the cable television and network via cable modem. DSL or digital subscriber liner. Provide high-speed internet and connection using regular copper and telephone wire. FTTP or fiber to the premises. Using fiber optic cable to provide high-speed internet access at home and business. Cellular radio network offers high-speed internet connection to device with build compatible technology. Wi-Fi wireless fidelity network uses radio signals to provide high-speed internet connection to compatible or properly equipped wireless computer or devices. So, satellite internet service provides high-speed internet connections via satellite dish that communicates with satellite modem. What can I do on the internet? First one, First one sa internet is look for information. Second one, school works, job and home purposes. Third one, send and receives electronic mail. Number 4, video teleconferencing or video call or video chat. Number 5, buy and sell product. Social networking. Number 7, watch and post videos. Number 8, games. Number 9, take college and courses. Number 10, monitor home while away. Financial transaction. Number 12, downloads music and movies.
Good afternoon, I am Marjorie Sobrillo. I am from BS Ed Science 3B, and the last topic of Chapter 10 will be about the World Wide Web. Under this topic, we're going to tackle some definition of terms, the birth of World Wide Web, and the last is the components of the World Wide Web. The first terminology that we're going to define is the website. So what is website? So website is a collection of web pages in a server that is accessible via internet using a web address called a URL or Uniform Resource Locator. Amazon.com and Wikipedia are examples of websites. Next is URL. So what is URL? It is the address of a web page on the internet. For example, you browsed the internet for a specific topic and you clicked on for example, Wikipedia. So the address that were directed to your server is called the URL. So another example of URL is the URL that is shown on the screen. So it is the URL for the Computer Hope website. Third term that we're going to define under the topic of World Wide Web is the web page. The web page is an electronic document on the web. So anything or any electronic document found on the web with a specific topic is called web page. So now let us differentiate the web page from a website. According to the picture that is shown on the screen, so web page, it has only one page with a specific topic. But if it is a collection or if it is compiled, it is called now a website. So just like a book, so a single page, if we were to compare it or link it with the World Wide Web, so it is web page. But if it has a lot of pages with a lot of like chapters or modules, so it is now called website. The next term that we're going to define is the web server. So it is a computer that delivers requested web pages to your computer. So the next term is the web browser. So it is an application or software that allows users, us, to access information on the web. Now, what are the examples of the web server? So on the screen, we have Lightspeed, Apache, Lynx, Citame, Yawate Web Server, Cherokee, Monkey Server, and Eclipse and Jetty. And the example of web browsers, so the famous Google Chrome, Firefox, Internet Explorer, and Conqueror, Opera, and Safari. Now, let's proceed to the birth of the World Wide Web. In 1980, the World Wide Web was born. So Tim Berners-Lee was the father or the inventor of the World Wide Web. So before, he was working with the European Organization for Nuclear Research. So while he was working, he developed a basic hypertext program called Enquire. So it is ENQUIRE. So the program was designed to make information readily available to users and allow a user to explore relationships between different pages. The man that is shown on the screen is the famous Tim Berners-Lee, the inventor of the World Wide Web. So in 1990, the Internet Hall of Fame, who is Tim Berners-Lee and Robert Cailliau, developed the skeletal outline of the internet, including a web browser and a web server. So 1990 was the start of a free and open World Wide Web. During 1993, a web browser was released, and that was named Mosaic. It allowed users to explore multimedia online, and also that year, 1993, it introduced the first modern search engines. Mark Andreessen and his team developed the Mosaic web browser, so it is the first popular web browser of the year 1993. The next topic that we're going to be discussing is the components of a World Wide Web. So we have the structural components and the semantic components of the World Wide Web. Under the structural components of the World Wide Web, we have the clients or the browsers, the servers, caches, and the internet. Clients are those people who uses the internet, which are also called the end user. So if I'm going to use the internet, so I am called the client or the end user. Browser are the application used to access the internet and surf for information. Again, the examples are the Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, and Internet Explorer. Next is structural components of the World Wide Web is the server. So a web servers are a computer that deliver requested web pages to your computer. The next structural component is the cache or caches. So are the hardware of software components that stores data for future request. So cache or caches are computer memory that has a very short access time that stores data for future request. And the last structural component of the World Wide Web is the internet. An internet is a global computer network providing access to a variety of information. Now let's proceed to the semantic components of the World Wide Web. So first we have the HTTP, which stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So Hypertext Transfer Protocol, or the HTTP, is a communications protocol used to transfer or convey information on the World Wide Web. So HTTP is a fundamental protocol for transferring files on the internet. And the next is the HTML. So when we create web pages and web applications, we use a standard markup language, or the Hypertext Markup Language, or the HTML. And the last semantic component of the World Wide Web is the URL, which stands for the Uniform Resource Locator. Again, what we have discussed earlier, it is the address of a web page on the internet or on the web. And that is all for the chapter 10, which is the components of the internet and the World Wide Web. Hope you learned something, and thank you for listening and watching.